In today's class, we will see about the HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors, the drugs that are used as HMG-CoA inhibitors. So examples are lovastatin, simvastatin, then rosuvastatin, uh, and many more. So this is the structure of lovastatin. Okay. So if here the R is substituted with H, then it is a lovastatin, and if R is equal to CH3, then it is a simvastatin. And remember the both the drugs. So in previous class, I have told that if the lactone ring is present, then they are all prodrugs. If the lactone ring is hydrolyzed or it is an open chain structure, then it is not a prodrug. Okay. So here in this we have, there is the so both lovastatin and simvastatin have got the lactone ring, so they are prodrugs. Then how to remember these prodrugs? So here one mnemonic I have written. So prolosi, prolosi is that means prodrugs are lovastatin and simvastatin. This is how we can easily remember. So coming to the metabolism of the lovastatin, simvastatin, and atorvastatin. So these three statins will be metabolized by the enzyme which is known as CYP3A4. So this is important one that you should remember. And this is also a GPAT question. So products of the statins, lovastatin and simvastatin are the prodrugs. Say the lovastatin, the metabolite of lovastatin is a 3,5-dihydroxy acid derivative, which is also a active compound, which is active as the parent compound. Then coming to the metabolite of simvastatin, it is the that is 3,5-dihydroxy acid derivatives. So this is also the derivatives, 3,5-dihydroxy acid derivatives. Even the simvastatin metabolite is also active. So they still have the HMG-CoA reductase inhibitor activity. So coming to the what happens in the metabolism. So oxidative metabolism occurs in case of the lovastatin and simvastatin. So oxidative metabolism means oxidation is seen in case of these particular compounds, that is lovastatin and simvastatin. So that is what we have written, 3,5-dihydroxy acid derivatives. That is on the third and the fifth position, there is the formation of hydroxy groups, that is OH groups. Then the structure of atorvastatin is different from lovastatin and simvastatin. So in case of the lovastatin and simvastatin, so this was a bicyclic system. But here in case of atorvastatin, it is a 5-membered heterocyclic system, and but still the other features are same. That is the ethylenic bridge and then open form of the lactone ring. So this is the structure of atorvastatin. Then coming to the metabolism of atorvastatin, atorvastatin is metabolized to ortho and para hydroxy metabolites, which are equiactive with that of the parent compound. So in case of lovastatin and simvastatin, we have seen that the active metabolites are also active, and even in case of atorvastatin also, the metabolites which are the ortho and para hydroxylated metabolites. So hydroxylation of the ortho and para groups of the that is benzene ring occurs. Okay, so then coming to the structure of rosuvastatin. See, rosuvastatin, in rosuvastatin, the is a pyrimidine ring. And here, see, we told the linkage between the open chain or open lactone structure and the bicyclic system or heterocyclic system is joined by two carbons. See, in case of atorvastatin, then lovastatin, simvastatin, there also you can have that the linkage is with two carbons only, but you have a double bond in case of rosuvastatin. So please remember, there is a double bond in case of the uh, rosuvastatin, which joins, that is the ethylene, two carbon chain containing length, which connects the hydrolyzed lactone ring with that of the heterocyclic system. And in case of rosuvastatin, the heterocyclic system is, or heterocycle is pyrimidine. This is one you have to remember. So the heterocycle in case of the rosuvastatin is the pyrimidine. Then coming to the metabolism of the rosuvastatin. So rosuvastatin is metabolized by CYP2C9 enzymes, liver enzymes, to form the N-desmethyl metabolite. Desmethyl means removal of methyl groups. So this methyl group is removed, N-methyl. Okay, N-desmethyl means the methyl group which is attached to the N, that is the nitrogen. We call that as N-desmethyl metabolite, which is also active. So until now we have seen that lovastatin metabolite is active, simvastatin metabolite is active, atorvastatin metabolite is still more active than the, and that is equipotent to that of the atorvastatin. And here even rosuvastatin, also metabolite of rosuvastatin, which is a N-desmethyl derivative, is also active that of the parentyme. So, but it is not as equipotent as rosuvastatin, but it is 7 times less potent than the rosuvastatin. Okay, so lovastatin and simvastatin, we had the bicyclic system, which is connected to a lactone ring by the 2 carbon, whereas in case of atorvastatin, we had the 5-membered heterocycle with nitrogen as the heteroatom, and in case of the rosuvastatin, we have seen that the heterocycle in this is a pyrimidine nucleus, or pyrimidine is the heterocycle in it. Okay, so and all of them, lovastatin, simvastatin, atorvastatin and rosuvastatin, the metabolites are active. So one concluding point we can, or we can just conclude this as, see, except fluvastatin, pravastatin and pitavastatin, okay, so all other compounds are, all statin metabolites are active. Or statin metabolites, which are the metabolites: lovastatin, simvastatin, rosuvastatin, atorvastatin, losirotar. Okay, and which are the inactive? That is, the metabolites are inactive in which of these statins? FPP, fluvastatin, pravastatin, and pitavastatin. The metabolites are inactive. So this way you can easily remember. Okay, then the lovastatin should always be administered with food to maximize oral bioavailability. And if it is not done so, so that is, if you don't take this lovastatin along with the food, then its bioavailability is decreased by 33%. So this is not a small figure, but 33% is a significant number. So we have to compulsorily advise the patient to take the lovastatin along with the food. That means after completion of the his food. Then the other statins have no effect when taken with or without food. So they can be either taken before food or after food, because their bioavailability but does not, the food does not affect the bioavailability of these statins. So only thing that we must be careful is lovastatin. Lovastatin must be taken after the food to have the maximum activity. If you don't take so, there is a 33% decrease in the bioavailability of lovastatin if you don't take along with the food. Then all HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors, they must be taken either in the evening or bedtime to counter the peak cholesterol synthesis which occurs normally in the morning hours. So then the exceptions to the above are, that is all, as a common statement is given that HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors should be taken even during the evening or bedtime. There are some exceptions to this, that is atorvastatin and rosuvastatin. They must not be given during this time. They can be taken at any time, because what is the reason that they need not be taken during the evening or bedtime? Because they are having longer T half, which allows them to take either in the morning or in the evenings, whichever time is possible. So this is one thing that you will have to remember. Lovastatin must be taken along with the food. The atorvastatin and rosuvastatin can be taken at any time of the day, because these drugs have longer T halves. Then all other statins, apart from these three statins, all other statins must be taken during the evening or during the bedtime to counter the cholesterol synthesis, which commonly occurs during the early hours. Then dose adjustments must be done if there is the liver aminotransferase concentrations are elevated. So that is if the liver enzyme, that is aminotransferase enzyme, if its activity is more, in such cases we have to, the dose adjustments must be done. So atorvastatin has got the minimal renal excretion. So why we are talking of the mean renal excretion here? Because those compounds which are excreted through the kidneys, then based on the function of the kidney, we have to make the dose adjustments. And here atorvastatin has got the least effect, which is not excreted by the kidney. That's why atorvastatin does not have, or we need not do any dose adjustments. That is if the patient is having abnormal function of the kidney. So no dose adjustments no need to make any dose adjustments, because atorvastatin has got, atorvastatin is not excreted by the renal system or the kidneys. So this is the best option that we can give to the patients who are having renal disorders. Then the drugs like fluvastatin, rosuvastatin and simvastatin, dose reductions, if severe renal impairment is there, then we have to make the dose reductions. Then in case of lovastatin, pitavastatin and pravastatin, if there is the mild to moderate impairment also, we need to make the reduction in the dose. So for fluvastatin, rosuvastatin and simvastatin, only if the renal function is severe impairment of renal function, then you have to make adjustments. If there is mild to moderate, no need to reduce the dose in case of the fluvastatin, rosuvastatin and simvastatin. But in case of lovastatin, pitavastatin and pravastatin, you have to make dose adjustments if there is even mild to moderate impairment in the kidney function test. Okay. So the better choice when compared to lovastatin, pitavastatin and pravastatin, it is the rosuvastatin, simvastatin and fluvastatin when there is the problem with the kidneys. Then coming to the uses of HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. So these HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors are most commonly used in the treatment of primary hypercholesterolemia, then familial combined hyperlipidemia, or in case of mixed lipidemias, example type 2A and type 2B, according to Fredrickson classification. Then the second therapeutic use, you can say, they can be used alone or in combination with bile acid sequestrants or estamib or niacin. They must be administered at least 1 hour before or 4 to 6 hours after bile acid sequestrants. So we told that they can be given alone or in combination. So if you are giving in combination with the bile acid sequestrant, then in such cases, these statins must be given 1 hour before the administration of bile acid sequestrants or 4 to 6 hours after bile acid sequestrants. So this is one important point that you all should remember. Okay, then these statins have uh, much beneficial effect in case of the congestive heart diseases or strokes, which reduce the mortality of the patient. So the type of drugs which can be used in case of this congestive heart diseases or the stroke are atorvastatin, fluvastatin, lovastatin, pravastatin, and simvastatin. All these drugs can be used in the treatment of the congestive heart diseases or the strokes, where we can reduce the mortality of the patient. Then except lovastatin, all HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors can be used in the treatment of hypertriglyceridemia. Hypertriglyceridemia means higher concentrations of triglycerides. So whenever you do the lipid profiling of a patient, then we can come to know which are the lipoproteins that are present in higher concentrations, that are present as hyperstates. So based on that, we can give these statins. So except lovastatin, we can administer all the statins for the treatment of hypertriglyceridemia. Then coming to the oral bioavailability of HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. So simvastatin, lovastatin, their bioavailability is very low, that is 5%. Of all the statins, simvastatin and lovastatin have got the least oral bioavailability, whereas the atorvastatin and pravastatin, they seems to have in the range of 12 to 14 and 17 respectively, and fluvastatin and rosuvastatin, their bioavailability is 20 to 30% and rosuvastatin 20% respectively. And the highest oral bioavailability containing statin is pitavastatin. So least is simvastatin and lovastatin or low-C, which we have mentioned it as they are the prodrugs. So the same prodrugs have got the least bioavailability, whereas the pitavastatin has got the highest that is oral bioavailability. Please kindly remember for GPAT, the statins which have got the highest oral bioavailability is pitavastatin, and the least which have got the least oral bioavailability, both simvastatin and lovastatin, because they are having 5% each. So they are falling into the same category. So we can write both simvastatin and lovastatin have got the least oral bioavailability in case of the statins. Okay, then the other things are that is in case of pregnancy. So these HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors are contraindicated in pregnancy. So why? What is the reason? Because the cholesterol is an important component in the synthesis of cell membranes. Then, and we can see that in the womb, growing embryo. So there is lot of new cells being produced. And as we know that all new cells, then these require the cholesterol. So if you are inhibiting the cholesterol, or if you are lowering the amount of cholesterol, then there may be problem with the growth of the embryo or the fetus. That's why HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors are contraindicated in case of pregnancy, or they should not be given in pregnant women. Then coming to the adverse effects. See, the adverse effects of HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors are also very important for the GPAT questions. We have here important things to remember. So what is the enzyme which is increased in, or you can say liver enzyme? What is the liver enzyme which is increased in case of when the patient is on HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors? Creatine phosphokinase. So creatine phosphokinase levels are increased in case of administration of HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. Then the other adverse effect is myalgia. and myopathy. So fever, muscle aches or cramps, and unusual tiredness and weakness are called as myalgia and myopathy respectively. So myalgia and myopathy are the common adverse effects seen with the administration of HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. Then coming to the next adverse effect, that is rhabdomyolysis. So with massive muscle necrosis with secondary acute renal failure is the rhabdomyolysis. So if taken with cyclosporin, then erythromycin, niacin or fibrates, then this rhabdomyolysis can occur. So when you are giving in combination, we should not administer cyclosporin or erythromycin, niacin or fibric acid derivatives along with the HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. So then the next topic we will see that